thank XR Women, our founders and leadership committee, and especially Jenna Lambert, whose vision created this museum and continues to open doors for so many artists working in immersive technology. And of course, deepest gratitude to our artists. Your generosity, curiosity, and courage shaped this exhibition. You didn't just show work here, you helped us imagine new ways of being with AI, new ways of authoring ourselves. When we first opened the show, we talked about coding oneself as an act of agency. Now, at the close, I'm struck by how alive that idea feels. Over these weeks, we've seen that coding oneself isn't a single act, it's ongoing, it's iterative, it's tender and bold at the same time. It's becoming. Each of these artists reminds us that AI isn't just a system that we use, it's a material we shape, question, and transform into something human, ethical, and expressive. Before we say goodbye to this chapter, let's take one more walk through the gallery together and celebrate the artists who make it possible. We're here in our main gallery, and we are with Dr. Arena Reku. Dr. Arena's work anchors this exhibition with intellectual clarity and ethical depth. She invites us to consider not only what AI can do, but what it should do and who we become alongside it. Her practice bridges research and imagination in a way that feels both rigorous and playful. Arena, are you here with us today? Let's see. No, no. Okay, I don't see Arena. Um, and hopefully we'll be able to see more of Arena's work in our future exhibits. Working with her has been a true delight and joy, and this exhibit was really anchored and inspired by her talk when she claimed that she wanted to, with AI, become the most famous artist in the world. And because she is in partnership, collaborating, coexisting, breathing truly with AI, anything is possible. And that is what sparked this exhibit. As we move to the center of the gallery, we were able to clearly see Arena's work that surrounds us. And if we join in with the circle of our dancer, we will enter the incredible world of the work of um, Leah Cole. Leah Cole, who prefers to be known as LM Designs 8. And Leia LM designs sculpture and performance-based environments feel alive. They're moving, they're breathing, they're dancing with us. Her collaboration with AI becomes almost choreographic, guided by intuition, the body, and her call for well-being as every moment practice. When Leia Leia presented with us at XR Women for her talk a few months ago, she shared so many insights about how well-being is centered in her practice. She is immersed in the blockchain and Web3 community and just exhibited her work at Miami Art Basel. and Art Week with some AR activations, and I highly recommend you not only just check out her AR but her fashion as well. So the works that you see on her figure here, on her sculpture choice, are actual items that you can wear and embody as a lifestyle. So I love working with Ellum Designs, and I hope to show many more of her works here in the future. Well, please join me as we. Well, first I'll ask if there's any questions, or if if there are any thoughts or questions in this gallery before we gravitate into our next. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm curious, Paige, and I know you're not the artist, so I'm asking you a question. You know, it's kind of unfair to ask you, but I'm curious about how Leia uses AI in fashioning, pieces like this stunning dancer in the middle of this gallery. Do you have any insight into that?
I do. Actually, I know that Leia prefers to use eighth wall often, and she will use eighth wall technology to create location based activations. When she was in Miami Art Week recently in December, she worked with a group to create activations in 12 parts of the like Miami South Beach and sort of uh, um, Wynwood areas. And when one would go to these different locations and scan that area, um, I believe even this sculpture that we're seeing now was one of the activations. You would see a large scale figure like this dancing or activating the space. So to bring her identity, her uh, quest for visibility, for Black joy, to be visible and pervasive within a space, almost towering over everyone else. I think it's like almost like medicinal in clearing energy and transforming the space into a place of joy, breath of celebrating the body and um, and her identity. I think wherever we go, it's great to be seen, and not only to seen, but to transform that space from perhaps negativity into joy. I think that's a real important like activation. I recently read a quote by Anne Frank that says, "Wherever I see darkness, wherever darkness is still light." And how she prefers to see that light in those spaces, um, and how that light, like this dancer is emanating, actually creates hope. And when one is in any any life situation, any structural uh, like enforced, whether it's our education or our work or just the way a city layout is, whenever one is in the structural confines of society, that radiating that eminence and dominating it, that's alchemy. And I think it's something you can never take the hope away from from one. We have challenges in in truthiness in one thing that, one can never lose their education, their values, their beliefs, their memories, or their hope, right? And so that's why choice to me, as an AR activation, makes so much sense, not just here in the gallery, but to be shared everywhere in the world. Just like we want to see women speakers everywhere on every panel, every Zoom call, right? That there should be, have the choice to have this joy. That's my unscripted um, words about this work as an AR activation and why it would be so meaningful.
Hmm. Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Paige. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Anyone else? Anyone else have like some, anyone wants to quick move around a little bit and dance before we move into our next gallery space? I think that's through, is that through emoji? Let's
I
see.
think so. I don't know if you can do like there's emotes. Let's see.
Emotes?
We can dance here. Let's see.
Emotes, yeah, emotes let us dance. There's a
There
dance.
we go.
Am I dancing? I'm trying to dance right now.
Okay.
I'm dancing. I'm dancing.
Oh, yes. Okay. That's right. And that's freeing, isn't it? That just feels good. That's taking space instead of
Yes.
giving up space.
Yes, I like to say that dancing is good for the soul. It's
It
yeah.
is. It
Yeah.
is. And I truly believe our avatars, even though I'm just on my laptop, I'm not in VR, I'm not physically dancing, but I'm embodied and my brain um, is gaining the good effects from moving with each other in this space. All right. Okay, join me.
Yay.
Let's crawl into this hallway together. This is we're going to look at Teresa Santos real quick in here. And we are just in the hallway in just this little spot. And I find that even as I turn my camera view around, I'm able to see the work and the wall behind me sort of disappears. Teresa's work carries a quiet strength. There's a reflective quality that invites us to slow down and like look a little deeper. And in fact, that's why she's here in this hallway. Her piece feels like mirrors, spaces for internal transformation as much as external exploration, using pop culture as a lens to better see herself, I would say, or share qualities of her the way she identifies, is like in this hallway invites transformation. Has anyone else had a sort of a moment of transformation where they can only really understand it through pop culture or share that story best?
I don't know. This makes me think about our avatars, and of course, we're thinking about the demise of Ready Player Me avatars here, and how. But I think that and looking at these pieces and thinking about how we represent ourselves in virtual spaces, depending on what the options are available there, and also kind of what the nature of the space is and what we do there. I'm usually here in frame as a host of events and, fairly, so I'm dressed fairly formally, but for example, like my avatar in Altspace, back when Altspace was still in existence, was, had like purple skin and was, much more creative because I would typically go there for more just purely social, fun kinds of things. And so, there is something about being able to represent different aspects or facets of our personalities through avatar choices. And I kind of like these pieces make me think of like kind of thinking more deeply about that, and maybe giving names to those avatars and helping to build out their personalities, or to articulate what it is that is going on with the choices that we make within the constraints that are placed upon us in those contexts.
I think that's such an important topic of exploration, how we feel in our identity within our avatars. It's been a long, there must be quite a bit of research that supports how important it is to be able to really feel like yourself. And yet, sometimes um, one can discover themselves in a whole new way. I was once a slice of watermelon in some platform. I wish I knew what platform it was. It was during a metatraversal event, and we went to all these platforms, and it was sort of randomly assigned, or you could select an avatar. Someone was like a piece of corn, and another one was a hamburger, and I was a piece of watermelon, and I felt really like me for in an odd kind of way. I wouldn't have even realized it. And so avatars can also open up parts of you that you don't even know are parts of you.
That's really cool. If it's all right, you had just said about research. I'm such a geek.
Yeah.
I just wanted to drop this concept, the Proteus effect. And so there is research. And what's really cool, I think my favorite piece of research around this is they took men who were in prison for domestic violence. Sorry, trigger warning. Sorry, everybody. I won't go that far. I just enough to give you a little context. They put them in VR in the avatar of a sleight of build female, and they interacted with someone who was a much larger male, and it actually changed their behavior in the physical world. And so, yeah, there is research, and yeah, it can change our behavior. I think that's
Yeah.
why they talk about empathy being, I think that's part of what's going on there, is that Proteus effect, that we do kind of become integrated after a fashion with our avatars, if we want to be, or whatever, willing, can, capable, whatever, and it can produce change. I think it's really interesting.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for teaching us about the Proteus effect.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hunting right now for an open source research about it. So
Good.
if anybody wants to
Is
read up
that
on it.
Mel Slater's work on the
I
Proteus
think
effect?
so. I
I
don't
think it is.
remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it's really interesting stuff. Yeah. I'll go find something. I'll drop it.
Thank you. I appreciate this. This is a, I thank you all so much. This really is so great to gather together, and um, I like nothing more than these moments where we're sharing inspiration, knowledge, research, ideas, and here within the museum context. Please join me in the um, second main gallery.
Paige, there was something that I just wanted to add to the avatar conversation, if that's okay.
Oh,
Um,
please.
yeah, no, I just wanted to say, in my interview yesterday I had with the lab and the research questions and stuff, I was sharing about, you know, I've been an avatar for a long time, right? And I've gone through, just like many of you here, we've gone through iterations of versions, and we bounce from platform to platform and different ones. And Engage has definitely transformed their avatars a lot by having the ones in their inventory, but then also being able to put your face, your scanned photo on the face, and that sort of thing. And over the years, and earlier in the years, I used to almost be embarrassed by my avatar. And there was one presentation I had back in 2020, and it was in Engage, and I did this major presentation, and my avatar was like, if you look at it now, it looks like something from a horror film. And for a bit,
I remember that, Julie. I
yeah,
remember you.
thanks, Karen. But that was back then, and yeah, I was embarrassed by it. But then as the years went on, and you know just moving from platform to platform, I became less concerned about what my avatar really looked like. And then I became more concerned about changing my clothes. And I became very conscious about, oh, I wore this outfit last week. I got to go change it. But I didn't care what I look like. So I find that for myself a very interesting perspective too, right? That, I didn't really care about my face, but when I came into this room with all you ladies, I need to change my outfit, right? Or, we're theming something, and, okay, let's get dressed up. If, I have to be on stage and doing, a special presentation, and I would go and put a suit on. So it became, and this is a research question, that I was more attached to my clothing than I was on the way my face looked. It's just interesting how we're evolving through this digital ecosystem of embodiment. Am I embodied because I do want to change my clothes, or am I not embodied because I don't care about what I look like? It's really interesting, just the different perspectives that we feel when we're represented in these places. And taking that into that next step, is it more, am I more connected to the community and feeling the embodiment of being surrounded by my friends? And in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, my friends can't see me in the same outfit I was in last week, right? But do you care? No, not really. And then I look at some people, and they haven't changed their avatars in years, right? Or months, and stuff. So um, thanks, Dr. Jane. Yeah, I see you're saying that too. It's fascinating, right? And this is why we need research, because so we can understand how we're evolving into this. And and we're picking the things that we pick to wear, and choosing to be present in the ways that we do. So anyways, that's my story. Back over to you, Paige.
It's so relevant. Elizabeth's new green blouse, for instance, right? That it's like having the choice and customizing the way you are and want to be visible. I think it's part of, I want to say, like, our human rights as avatar human rights. I think that might be a thing, to have a sense of agency, and being able to um, exercise your agency in various ways. And definitely, um, fashion is an important part of that. I know in Horizon, if I'm in something I made, I feel totally different than if I'm in like just a basic avatar outfit that is from the platform, or like when I buy outfits from people who made custom outfits, how that makes them feel. And boy, it's just really exciting. So thank you for adding to this discussion in such a meaningful way that like opens up more questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
I don't want to hold up us moving into the next room, but I do have to add on because Julie mentioned
Sure.
it. That
Yeah.
she talked about her avatar in the interview yesterday. I also did the interview yesterday with the research team, and one of the topics was that the scariest thing for me in joining, starting to do social VR was my avatar, because like one time I was walking around with a beard and had no idea, and I don't know why I was so appalled and embarrassed, but yeah, it is important.
It is. It is. Oh, thank you. Well, as we walk actually into this next gallery, we're going to see avatars surrounding us. In fact, quite literally, everywhere you look in this space, um, except for in the like this yoga breathing meditation dome, you see avatars embodying us and including this runner maze, because if you click on this image, this is runner 3D runner maze by Dulce Berga, and if you click on the image it gives you the opportunity to play the 3D maze runner in another pop-up window. And this is exactly what our conversation has kind of been about. She has this avatar, this all woman avatar, and it really kind of embodies herself, and she has to kind of go through this maze, a maze of daily life, a maze of structure, a maze of work, a maze of everything, right? To run through it successfully and navigate her way through life. It's really, I'm going to go to what I wrote about it. And let's see, Dulce. She's really bringing this, like, to be a maze runner. And her other piece here, this work, Esme in the corner, her this is her true avatar, representative herself. It's her avatar that dominates her dulce.com website experience. It's a web3 site that has um, do, this Esme as her avatar that guides you through her offerings, her life, her work, and between Maze Runner and Esme, she's really creating this deeply personal, poetic language to technology. Her work is intimate, like memory translated into code, and yet it resonates collectively. There's a balance of softness and vulnerability that reminds us that digital spaces can hold emotion and care at the same time as great power. And having the choice to share how you show up is really important, right? But to know that behind every avatar is like a human that is being brave, authentic, vulnerable, transparent, fierce. All those things embody our avatars as we navigate it through life as ourself. I mean, I am me, I am she, we are we. Like the avatar is an embodiment of us. Next to Dulce, here in this corner, this is also another pop-up. Hi, welcome, Dr. Jane. I'm glad you're with us. Here in this corner, we also have a work. This is an image montage that I put together to represent still images in a video, created by Adriana Krasowitz. And this is a video that she uses AI to create. If you click through, you'll get to either her YouTube or her website that hosts the video. It's uh, really this powerful manifestation, and she creates this coat that she wears and sort of performs in her video, and she brings this bold fashion forward sensibility into XR utilizing AI. Her work reimagines identity as something fluid, performance based, and speculative, a space where we can try on new futures as well as say no to expectations and demands. We're able to wear our avatar fashion as even, I would want to say, as armor. Um, and actually, Christine, you're wearing armor on your avatar. But our oh, hi, welcome, Light. I'm glad you're here too, and guests. Um, we are able to like fashion ourselves and expose where we might be soft and human inside, but we have the option to go into any space fully armored, and our avatars give us that possibility. Can anyone here resonate with the sense of wearing avatar outfits as armor?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know I had one time a friend was confiding in with me when she was going into a situation, into a delicate conversation in which she felt extremely vulnerable, and I recommended to her that she do, and this is not in avatar form, this is in real life form, that she wear something like a certain a scarf or a cloak or something, and to think of it as protective uh, of her, you know, as sort of armor. And you know, I think that works in the physical world as well as in the virtual world, right?
Absolutely. Would anyone else like to speak about that?
Absolutely. I'm I have the experience of the last year and a half of joining this community and really reflecting whenever I met with Tony Liao and did the interview about my experience. And it's really in some ways of that vision of like Dr. Jane Avatar and who I am in this society, like what I want to be. And in this last year, my real life has now become my more of my avatar, in that it's really cool that I can be honest and open with y'all. And I met some of you in real life, and I think of myself, I've got, you know, ADHD quirky, and I'm imperfect, and sometimes I show up and sometimes I don't, and sometimes I'm unprepared and sometimes I'm super prepared. And it's really neat that I can share who I am with y'all. But the Dr. Jane avatar was definitely a shield for me for like the first, I don't know, maybe 9 months of being in this metaverse space, because I was so intimidated by y'all. Everyone was so cool.
Aw, we can really understand.
But you're
Mm.
cool, Dr. Jane. Oh my gosh, I want to be like you.
Right, but I'm coming from, so I'm neurodivergent. I really suspect undiagnosed autism, but that's okay. I'm very quirky, and I've been bullied my entire life as a professor in academia. Like, I've been bullied, bullied, bullied for being weird, for being loud, for being different, for being creative, like, and silly. Like, it's unacceptable to be silly in an academic setting. Like, it is not okay. So it's been a journey.
Well, we're
I can relate. I can relate a lot.
Mhm.
And I'm sure I'm not the only one. And in fact, at the end of this program, we're going to have a little bit of good news sharing. And I would love for you, if you're able to stay for another another 15 minutes, we're going to do our last 5 minutes of good news. And I'd love for you to share what you're working on during that time.
Absolutely. Yay.
Excellent. Good.
I have a quick question, and this, and maybe it's not a question, it's more of a statement. And while everybody was talking about avatars and stuff, I was thinking, you know how they say, when you're, to feel good, get dressed in the morning and, put your outfit on, and then you feel good, and then I'm reading, and I see Dr. Jane, you wrote like you were in sweats, and I'm in sweats too. I'm in my long johns and a sweater, right? Like I just came in from a walk outside, and I didn't get dressed up to come here, but my outfit is, it looks like what I'm wearing, a long john and a sweater. But what does that connect piece when we're dressed in a long johns and a sweater, but yet our avatars dressed like Elizabeth, all dressed up with a blouse and a skirt? And what's that mindset correlation? And I don't have an answer. I'm just putting it out there of how we're dressing differently in real life, but our avatar is more dressed up than we are. It's really fascinating, and just how we present ourselves in these two different fashions. And if I was dressed up in a suit and my avatar was in a suit, am I any better for myself? I don't know. I'm just purely throwing this out there. Lots of conversations around avatars. This one just came to my head. Back over to you.
Julie, that's such a perfect segue, though, into exploring the work of Erica Morris. And her work is both in front of us on the stepped stage, and behind us is three still images of her avatar. And what's so fascinating about her work is that when she submitted it, and maybe I'm a little new on frame. I'm sure it could have been figured out to work on this platform, but I didn't know how to do that, and I don't know if it really would work on frame. But her work is actually was submitted as these China dolls, and that's the name of one of her works here, or the collection of the three of them, and with like 30 different textures that then you can paint the different dolls. And it really opened up this quandary as to who we are and how other people might paint us, right? Erica is a diverse artist who might have been painted, so to say. There's like that expression, painted into a box, or what the world envisions of her, and having the choice of choosing her own textures, or being able to show her multi-dimensional parts of her, without the world deciding, but yet within this installation, it actually empowers and gives us agency to create these different textures. So we have two of the textures that she gives us on the back wall. One mapped out onto the back wall is sort of her, like, you can see her sort of figure of her facial features that would be mapped out, that would fit the face of the avatar China doll in front of us, as well as one that is